3, 2, 1.
Whams!
Wait. So the manga is Maison and the man-eating apartment, right? That's what it's called.
The apartment does not eat people, from what I can tell reading it. It's
kind of.
It's kind of the
It
apartment.
kind of eats them. I think it's
more
can be
metaphorical
seen
than
that.
literal. We'll say it's not a manga about an apartment with teeth that goes around.
Yeah. It's not
I was a
dashing
little
people.
disappointed with that.
It's not like a bunch of people living inside of a stomach, but it also kind of is.
It's very Snowpiercer. It's the most Snowpiercer manga I think I've ever read.
It is
don't know what
very
that
similar.
Have you never seen
Snowpiercer
Snowpiercer?
No.
Oh, there's
It's a comic
train
/
driving
movie.
around an apocalyptic world where the rich people live at the front and the poor people live at the back, and they recycle everything.
Okay. And there's another manga that I've read that is similar to this as well, but without the recycling aspect. But it was just like a
Gachiakuda. Wait, no,
strange-
that is recycling.
it was like a strange like setup in like a big apartment pretty much. But yeah, I mean this manga started out and I was so fucking confused. But we'll go ahead and say what our score is here. What did you think of it?
9.5.
9.5. Whew. Okay.
I also am at like a 9.5, maybe a 10 for the 30. I read all 32 chapters that are out. I know both of you. What chapter did you get to?
24.
I got to 19.
Okay.
So
What's your score?
I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe like an 8.5.
Okay.
And it was really the beginning threw me off so much. When I first started reading it, I was like, damn, this is weird. I think it's like a 4.
Wow.
Like
I literally like from page 3 was like, this is my new favorite manga.
it just felt
Really
weird. Like
good.
it started off and then it was like, okay, here's the babies, and then it skipped immediately forward and it's like, all right, here's the
It
kids.
does
and
do
then
a
it skipped
double-
immediately forward, and I was
The
like,
double time skip is very strange.
the double time skip threw me off so hard, and then it was like, all right, we're doing this, and then motherfucker dies, and then it was like,
Oh yeah, poor
what
birdie.
the fuck is happening? And then it was like, all right, and then you're the
You're the
landlord.
landlord
You start
now.
doing landlord stuff, and I'm like, what is landlord stuff? And it's just like,
Oh, that's
like,
what you
They
learned.
don't tell her that either.
yeah, no, she doesn't know. So then eventually I was like, okay, I guess we're not supposed to know what landlord stuff is. And then I was just like, I was so fucking lost. But then it was like, okay, I guess the idea is that you're lost because she's super lost.
Yeah.
So like at first I just didn't like that.
It's like you're stuck on one of the decimal floors.
Yeah. So then as it started to go, I was just like, okay, now that it's rolling and then she's just like kind of exploring stuff, I was like, this is pretty good. I liked that it was pretty much the whole way is just about her just getting up to no good.
Maison, you mean.
Doing
Maison,
stuff
the main
that
character.
she's not supposed to do, that everyone's like, hey, you probably shouldn't do this thing. And she goes, I won't do the thing. Definitely
the
going
thing.
to
She
go
just
do
goes
the
and does
thing.
the thing immediately.
She's constantly
So-
being told, don't be like the previous landlord.
Don't be the predecessor.
And then she does exactly that. And after the second time that they were like, don't do the same thing that the predecessor did, and then she did it, I was like, just kill her. I mean, she's worthless now. Like, just like you're clearly hinting that you're going to kill her if she keeps doing it.
We've
Just kill her.
we've pretty
We
much
got
gotten
there.
there.
Which we got there. We got there. But I was like, dude, like
Took about
Ladies
3
and gentlemen,
arcs.
we made it to killing the main character.
it's like, okay.
Or at least threatening to.
It took a while for you to decide to do that. So I guess it's like you can get pretty deep. Like she learned a lot of things already before.
Yeah.
She's a landlord. She's allowed to know some stuff.
Yeah.
So
Gary always missed the beginning again.
The manga takes place in the end of the world, but the apartment is stuck in a time loop of some kind in the last second of the sun exploding. So it's a closed cell system. They call it it's like an endless energy something or other.
Yeah. So it's a perpetual
Energy machine.
energy machine, which is impossible. Like physics states that it is impossible.
I mean, it's
essentially.
impossible now, but who's to say at the end of the
The
world?
only way that it could be possible is with something that we know to be impossible, which is an infinite thing sending stuff back through time, which is impossible. But for manga's sake,
Impossible stuff is the bread and butter of
Yeah.
this manga.
You don't learn that until some way in. But once they started
Like 20
explaining
chapters
that,
in.
I was like, okay, I think I get what they're doing here now? Like, it was like
So they're just being cute, calling it recycling.
If
Yeah,
if you
not
are
really.
a fan of the Souls games, there's that line that I think about constantly. Time is convoluted in Lordran,
Yeah.
and space is also convoluted in Lordran, and those things are they're way more convoluted in this manga.
Right.
Time and space are
Yeah,
very
actually,
convoluted in this
I-
manga.
to compare it to Dark Souls 3, the way it ends, where you're in like a weird fucking like everything has been slapped together, like all of space and time is slapped together.
Holding in on itself.
That is essentially what this manga is.
It's what the
people living.
apartment is too.
It's what what they're living in is this apartment that is just time and space slapped together. And
Holding
they're
in
just
on
fucking-
itself.
You know, they've just been living there for hundreds of years.
There's a council of weirdos that are kind of in charge, but Maison is technically actually in charge because she's the landlord.
I don't know if
Um,
that's true, right?
Like,
So I think that she is the most in charge, but the implication as we've been going is that the leader of the council, who
that
is
weird, creepy old fucking guy.
clearly nefarious. I don't think it's much of a spoiler to say that. He comes off as spooky from pretty early on. But I think basically he's been getting the landlords killed while they're young so that they will not be able to subvert his level of knowledge and control over the apartment.
Yeah.
So every time a landlord starts to become a curious person who wants to try to get more control than he has, he
says,
gets rid of them.
Fuck you, get apartment man.
And for
Speaking
whatever
of
reason,
which,
he is, yes, there's the
the
apartment man.
man.
Wait,
there-
talk about the art of this manga while you talk about Apartment Man.
It's weirdly
The apartment
messy.
man is terrifying.
Yeah, it's like artistically messy, where it's like all
Messy
the lines
but
are
super
squiggly.
detailed.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the lines are squiggly. Everything is organic looking.
Yes.
Cartoonish.
Very
it's just-
biopunk.
right. Yeah, biopunk would be a great way to describe it, where it's like everything kind of feels like it's alive.
But it's super readable. Like
Yeah.
it's never confusing what you're looking at, despite how much detail there is. And like, if I were to compare this to something like Blame, if you've ever heard of that manga or
That's
anything,
the one
remember
with the vampires in the nightclub, right?
no.
Oh.
That's
I'm
Blade.
not sure.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. So the works of Tsutomu Nihei have a similar kind of like everything is extremely detailed. It's always some kind of crazy mega structure and big monsters. This is comparable to that, but if you could always tell what was happening, which is not at all true of Tsutomu Nihei's manga. This is like it has a way of framing things where the subject is always very prominent and the background is background, you know?
Yeah, I can agree with that. Like a particular moment where that like becomes the case is where they get fucking eaten by the recycling machine and they get vored and then they like spit out into like
Oh, yeah.
a thing and you're just like there is no concept of what this is in my head to imagine where they are right now.
Yeah.
But I can kind of tell what's going on. Like they're just in
Yeah.
a fucking tunnel.
Yeah, in the early chapters, the establishing shots do such a good job of making you understand in general. Like it's
This is
a
a
big,
big place.
tall, cylindrical apartment. There's basically balconies all throughout. It's almost like a panopticon prison setup where it's like you can see from the center into all of the areas. And
that one chick with the weird ball of eyes can see everything.
yes,
Yeah.
she is literally a panopticon warden. But like, there's the system
Risky,
of how they
that's
get
right.
between
Yeah.
floors is these complicated rails, and they've
The
got
carts,
like
the carts.
Which
oh
I'm
my
not
gosh,
sure.
That's awesome.
I'm not sure if that's what everyone uses because we only
They
see
don't
Maison use
all
it.
use them. We see
They-
the
they
the
do
big
all-
dude, the collector.
everybody
Yeah.
uses them. They cost a fee.
yeah.
Because that's
Okay.
mentioned early on that like somebody comps her fee, and then I think she's allowed to ride them for free once she becomes the
Yeah.
I think the main reason that they did the double time skip, so that the manga opens with Maison being born, and along with this boy, what was his name? Bertie.
Bertie.
And it shows them when they're like 7 years old for a little bit, just kind of hanging out in the apartment. I think mostly to give you a sense of what
They're good friends.
growing up was like before she became because then it time skips again to 7 years later, and it's like, oh, this is the day you're actually taking on the job of being the apartment manager.
At 14.
Yes.
It's
Yep.
a little scary.
That just seems to be like, you know, fucking Japanese shit. It's always like, all right, you just hit puberty, so you have all the responsibility in the world on your shoulders. Which is a very, like back in the day, kings and shit,
Yeah.
kings would be young all the time.
I think it's a way of creating a more dire feeling situation, like to suggest you have to grow up fast because this is not a normal, this isn't
And
modern
I
society.
don't think they show anyone that is old aside from the council member guy.
They show one guy later. Well, they show like two.
No, there's a
people.
couple of old people, shopkeepers usually. Because there's the old lady who sold them candy.
There's also a shopkeeper who every time they walk in goes like, it's our closing sale. Everything's 10% off. And she just goes, you've been saying that for as long as I've been alive. He says, I'm old.
He goes, I've been saying it for 50 years also.
Okay.
The black market entrance guy, you got there, right? To the black market?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. You'll get there
the last
in a couple chapters.
I read was they jumped into the time machine and they landed on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they see all the apartment men.
Yeah, well,
the next arc. The next arc after that is about them going to this secret black market that exists in, like, basically behind this shop, and then behind the black market is like a mining area essentially that is itself potentially infinite.
But is that, and those are outside of the jurisdiction of the apartment?
They are considered that. But there's a bit of a twist about it.
But they're not under the jurisdiction of the apartment men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the apartment man is this big spooky duke who shows up to recycle people because when your time is up.
Have you ever seen the game Scorn? Know about the game Scorn?
I think so. I've seen clips of it.
The apartment man gives me heavy Scorn vibes.
He's very spooky. Yeah. And this manga, I've seen people qualify this as a horror manga. I don't think it's horror. I would just call it adventure.
Scary.
It's just the art is spooky. The monsters are spooky. It's
okay,
as much a horror as Spirited Away is, I think.
To explain a couple concepts, because we're just discussing things now, but so
people get recycled.
We get explained that because time is essentially being looped, people can't die. They will just keep aging until they're just into bones, and they still have consciousness somehow.
And the bone people, the bones are their money.
Stop!
They pull your hair up, but
this is a
out.
reference. I think you should leave.
And that was the day that the skeletons came to life.
Yeah. So if you you just keep aging infinitely, you can't die.
The worms are also
the only way to die is to be recycled, and they keep bringing up recycling because this is a perpetual energy machine. So they are recycling things that took energy to make.
Recycling people.
So things took energy to make, and they have to recycle everything in order to keep the energy going.
Yeah.
But then we don't really know what the fuck recycling means for a while, and then at some point we
still don't really know what it means for people.
We don't know what it means for people yet, but we learn that for trash, they're throwing it into a time machine that pushes it back in time.
You're like already on chapter 18 describing that.
Right, but this is a concept that brings forward what we're talking about.
I can tell that you have been like struggling with this manga until the moment they finally explained that, and you went, "Oh, okay, I can take a deep exhale.
So,
I get what this manga is about."
They're throwing trash into a time machine. The time machine is going sent back in time to when, I guess the fucking tower was made. Presumably, and
they can choose which time to send it back.
Yeah, they can choose it.
We're gonna have to put a spoiler warning towards the start of this one. Just be like, go read this manga. We're about to spoil it.
The idea said that they were gonna mute to not get spoiled and then come back when the music discussion starts.
Yeah, so the first few chapters are basically just establishing the apartment man, establishing generally what the landlord does, and then there's an arc about. She sees Nora. This cat, Nora, the apartment cat, and she's like, "Oh, hey, the apartment cat!" And Nora jumps into the air and just disappears. Yeah. And she's like, "What happened to the cat?"
Yeah. So this is actually when I started thinking that it was pretty good. Was the decimal floors where I was just like, okay,
that arc is where it really is like this manga rules. This officially rules.
This is getting really, really weird.
Oh wait, we skipped over. So
Birdie
right after
gets recycled.
Well, that's in chapter 1. Yeah, Birdie, her friend gets recycled. She finds out about Apartment Man. She's like, I want to know what the secret is of Apartment Man. Why do they have to recycle people? Then she gets assigned by the council to go deal with oversized garbage because they've had a buildup of oversized garbage.
And we meet a big furry man. His name is the Collector.
This guy called the Collector. He's like a Hagrid type. He's a dude with a big
beard. He immediately tries to scam her.
And the trash guy from fucking Sesame Street.
Oscar the Grouch.
And
He's big Oscar.
the furnace guy from Spirited Away. This particular arc was where I realized, oh, this is Spirited Away, because when she's talking to the collector, like, basically he's this gigantic man. The council doesn't really deal with him well, but she makes friends with him just by being good at communicating and likable. And the collector reveals to her that the way they get rid of garbage is that
they feed it to the old collector.
The previous collector, who at this point is just like a big head in the ground, kind of like a hairy version of the lion from Aladdin, just like a big spooky head. And she finds out that he's like sick, and this has been causing difficulty with the garbage sorting. So she's like, well, if we just fix that, it won't be as expensive to deal with the garbage.
Into his mouth.
She jumps into his mouth,
and she comes out with like a battery or something.
And this is the first time that she says, "My landlord instincts tell me so."
Oh yeah, she has special
like,
landlord powers.
She's like, I think I'll just.
She has a spidey sense as a landlord. But like when she
landlord sense is tingling.
When she
There's
jumped
some
into
unpainted light switches.
When she jumped into the big spooky Duke's mouth to like retrieve something out of it to make it unsick, I was like, this is exactly the scene in Spirited Away where she pulls like the shit out of the river spirit in the bathtub house. And then I realized, like, oh, this is doing the same. Like, it's a gigantic structure full of mystery and weird monsters and characters. She's gonna be the helpful one.
It is said that the collector is just a human.
He's a human.
He's just a big dude.
Humans are just human. But like the biggest difference being that in Spirited Away, Sen starts off as
like, comment, and subscribe.
Sen starts off
/birdfriendsplay.
At the beginning of Spirited Away, Sen is more like afraid and like not really ready. She's not gung ho, and it's only when she does that river spirit scene that she starts to become like a badass. And this Maison is kind of just already a badass. She's just real curious. She really wants to know what's going on. She's really trying to be a good landlord, which in her mind means solve all the mysteries, help all the people, make this place, make Maison great. Find Birdie, also her friend, or what happened to him at least. Like, does recycling mean death?
It becomes
not sure.
Find Bertie when the fucking when one of the goddamn apartment mans goes like, "Oh, you'll see him again," and then she's like, "What?"
Well, so there's also it's like chapter 15, I think. Risky is just talking to a disembodied face, and it is implied or said outright that is Birdie.
So you're gonna meet in a couple of chapters from where you are a old man named Birdie who lives outside in heavy quotes of the apartment complex. This manga moves fast as fuck.
Yeah,
it deserves to be
really,
mentioned.
Really complex fucking
ideas
shit going on.
So like,
there's a 2-dimensional space where the oversized garbage goes, and there's these cool little robots that sort the garbage.
Right now I'm imagining someone, who doesn't care about spoilers, who has just decided to watch this video and is listening to what we're saying and just going, what in the fuck are you talking about?
So in like chapter 5, Nora the cat jumps into the air, disappears, and the landlord is like, Maison, she's like, I gotta find out what happened to the cat. And she basically finds out
the old man, and the old man goes, oh,
ignore
she's
it.
on a decimal floor.
Yeah, you can't do anything. There's floors between floors. You can't get to them. Turns out you can get to them. And turns out there are floors between floors like 10.5. And then there's
the irrational floors.
There's the irrational floors, which is just an literally endless House of Leaves style. The inside goes on forever labyrinth.
So she goes
a TARDIS.
She goes into 10.5.
Yes.
It's
bigger
a cool
on the
place.
inside.
She meets this kid, and then the kid
Morse. He's a telegram agent, and his name is Morse. Isn't that cute? Isn't that funny?
That is funny. Morse kind of low key tricks her into falling into the irrational floors. He brings her to the door and then pushes her in.
Yeah,
and then she's in the irrational floors, and then the irrational floors is just like this spiral staircase that repeats infinitely, and like if you keep going up, it just keeps adding a decimal place onto the floor. So she's technically still right below 10.5, and no matter how high you go, you are infinitely getting further, like closer, but also kind of further away from 10.5.
It's like pi.
Yeah, pi is an irrational number, so it's like pi.
That we learn that the Morse we're seeing is a shadow of Morse, and apparently there's like a lot of them. because Morse has just been trying to escape so badly. But Morse brings us to the arm manager.
Yes.
I love the arm manager.
The arm manager is a pair of arms of a
apartment
man. Just a floating pair of arms that cooks rice.
Fried rice. He just loves making fried rice.
So I just read Duncan264. I am the person who doesn't care about spoilers, but also has no idea what you're talking about.
So let me
spoil. Then it just got even more funny.
Let me spoil you, Shade.
Let
me spoil you for what's about to happen in like the next 2 chapters you're about to read.
Yeah.
One of the actually, where you're at,
one of the apartment men likes making fried rice.
Yes, he loves making fried rice for the old man, and the old man tells him, "You have to go kill."
He's like, "But I want to finish making fried rice."
He's like, "I have no desire to do anything but make fried rice," and he says as much when he goes to kill Maison, and she realizes, wait a minute, we're in a time machine. You like making fried rice.
Yeah, you are.
So she creates. They destroy him. They beat him. He is reduced to just arms, and she tells the time machine, send those arms back in time. And so she creates arm manager.
And then the other dead apartment managers are probably from that conflict as well.
Maybe that's the only one she sent back in time, was just a pair of arms that were
I know what you're talking about, the apartment men.
Yeah, there's a
she
bunch
comes
of dead
across a room
men
with a bunch of dead apartment men.
Maybe those were all from that incident.
Sense.
But yeah, she sent the arms back in time. They became the arm manager.
This like a boomerang, you know.
This manga is batshit insane.
It's just crazy, yeah.
But like, if you're looking for something unique, so easily and comfortably that it's just like, okay, well, I want to know what that's about. Let me read the next chapter, I guess. And then you just keep seeing more crazy shit.
Let's see what this guy's fucking on right now.
Yeah. There's a director who makes a movie about killing an apartment man in what seems to be the outside world. So
it was straight up like, what a bold move, right?
Yeah.
It's basically like in a society where it is illegal to, it's illegal to like say that you're going to kill the cops or anything like that. But like make a movie of that, you know? Like obviously we can say that I'll kill a cop in a movie, but
so it is kind of
he goes and makes a fucking movie where he's like, I'm gonna kill the cops.
It's kind of implied that the apartment men don't go to see the movies, so they wouldn't know, they don't care.
Yeah. But everybody else goes to see the movies, and the director Mushi. She's like the most popular person in this whole place. Like everyone's obsessed with Mushi's movies. So this was where the arc
I thought it actually implied
Mushi was a small-time director until she made the Apartment Man movie.
Until that movie.
Well, Collector is like a huge fan, and also one of the library manager is a huge fan. So, and they're going to meet a third huge fan later. So there's a bunch of people who are like diehard fans of Mushi.
I have a different view.
But like, oh shit. Here.
Oh shit.
Was that Dune?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so the whole arc with the irrational floors ends in a dramatic. I won't call it tear jerky, but it's got a whole.
You don't die unless the apartment man recycles you. You just become bones.
Yes.
Right?
So
the worms are your money.
The sort of resolution of that is recycling poor what's his name, who's been Morse, who's been stuck as
for 500 years.
Fucking skeleton for 500 years, making depression ghosts.
What will you have after 500 years?
Fried rice.
Fried rice. Yeah, that's the answer to that.
Fried rice, Dad.
So, she saves Morse's soul. That's kind of the end of that arc. And at this point in the manga, my biggest ask was like, this manga needs more main characters, like people who are going to be around, who are going to help her on her journey. And that's when we introduce director Mushi. Mushi is like a punk,
One of the first things Mushi does to Maison is point a gun in her face.
Yeah. Yes.
And then immediately becomes a ride or die, like.
Yep.
Because Maison unflinchingly is just like, look, I don't know if I can tell. So the director's trying to get her permission to kill an apartment man, and she's like, I don't know if the apartment man are necessarily evil and if they're necessarily killing people. And then Mushi's like, oh really? Well, let me tell you everything I know then.
Yeah.
Mushi has a computer from
the oldest computer.
The oldest computer in the place, and it's full of like 3D imaging data.
I saw the computer and I was like, is this going to be like Is this I Have No Mouth? Like
Hmm.
it was like a biological looking computer.
So the two of them end up, just to summarize as quickly as I can, so this doesn't drag on and describe everything. The two of them go on this investigative journey where they end up going down the trash chute with the help of Collector, like fighting off an apartment man who's trying to get Mushi. They go down the trash chute. They find out that where trash is sorted is in a 2-dimensional world between the in and outside of the apartment.
With robots.
An infinitely 2-dimensional
plane. Yeah. And there's these, but like you experience it by way of a holographic projection of a 3D version of what's happening in the 2D plane. And they meet these two robots
Epsilon and Theta, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the robots are
Delta,
a cute little like buddy,
it's like, those
duo.
two robots from Portal 2. They look exactly the same, but they have that same vibe going on.
They're just cute little robot guys.
Well, one of them is like training the other one to be
I have no fried rice and
trash.
I must whams. Team Rocket, if they're caught in a hellscape without their trusty cat, I have no meowth and I must scream.
Okay.
So a whole adventure plays out where the Maison and Mushi and these two robots go to the top of the apartment where the time machine is, and the robots have just been throwing trash into this machine, and it goes back in time, and that creates the energy to keep the apartment going. They go down into the machine, and some things happen. Collector comes and saves them. Our manager gets created.
There's a fuck ton of apartment men and baby apartment men in the walls of this
like
area.
in Attack on Titan, they're grown in the walls or something. And then that arc resolves in another somewhat, like lightly emotional scene. And then the next arc is about them going to the black market and the infinite space inside.
They meet someone that either is Mushi's grandma or is just referred to as grandma.
It turns out
who's in a big robot. She's got like a Gundam.
Yes, well, she's one of the council members, and so
now you're talking about shit that I didn't read, and now I'm back to be confused.
The black market is supposedly outside of council control, but it's actually secretly run by one of the council members, who herself is
the health agent or whatever.
She's the health agent. She's super terrified of the apartment men and dying, so she's basically secretly working towards trying to kill apartment men herself. And also she's trying to find the outside world because she thinks there must be a way out of this fucking apartment, and she's desperate to get out. Yeah. Our heroes find a portal that leads them to an outside, but it's not outside. It's just like it seems to be like the original version of the apartment back when it was just a big Japanese apartment building.
Yeah.
And they meet an old man named Birdie, and they end up taking him to a spaceship. And the chapter I was just reading, the latest one, chapter 32, that spaceship accidentally launches. So they have just launched themselves in a rocket into the sky at the end of chapter 32.
Yeah, this guy is on some shit.
So this is one of those, I think what makes this manga work so well to me is that it is a writer and artist duo. I tend to like when I think a lot of manga artists, like, they just want to draw cool shit. They're not necessarily like good at crafting a coherent story. This has that feeling of this will probably run for like 50 chapters and end. Like when they've answered all the questions, this will end. It is not designed to go on forever.
I definitely like at the point that I'm at, I'm like, okay, they've answered a bunch of the questions. I can't imagine this going for much longer. Like
where I'm at, it feels, I mean, there's more questions keep coming up, but we're at the point now where it's getting to where there's only so many questions left that it makes sense to have to answer.
Which, obviously, it's not super close to I Have No Mouth, and I Must Scream, but it definitely feels like it's inspired. Like,
I guess I could see that.
Well, because like I Have No Mouth, the whole Am becomes this like biological thing that spread itself across the entire planet. So like the entire planet is this like biological machine thing.
Oh, it's like that episode of Black Mirror where he turns a peaceful video game species into like the hive mind that controls the world. Yeah. I watched that with you once. I don't remember what it was called.
And one of the prevailing themes of I Have No Mouth is finding worth in a worthless world. Like where it's like, what the fuck are you supposed to do? There's only 5 people alive. The entire planet is just this machine that is keeping us alive forever. Like it makes them immortal.
Right.
So like the people are also immortal. So that's another part of it. But like clearly everything is worthless. They nothing matters anymore. There's only 5 people, and they're all just being tortured by this machine. And this is very similar, where it's like the world ended.
Right. The world is in a period of ending.
Yeah, but this 1 second keeps going, and they're just holding on to this 1 second of time.
Where we're at now, though, there's starting to be questions of like, is this really Earth, or are we somewhere else? Like, so
Right.
there's definitely a few more big twists that are going to happen before it's over.
Right? What's with his eyes?
We don't know anything about that yet, but
Except he controls the
this manga just stays exciting by constantly giving you another like crazy sci-fi concept, another big monster, another fucking chase scene, another cute bug, you know, and
oh yeah, the roly-polies.
Yeah.
So we just got 2 comments that I thought were interesting to bring out. So Gary always said, "Hey, just like the Digital Circus." Yes, because that's also based on I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. And then
I think he was saying that as a joke,
Yeah,
like, "Hey, just like Amazing Digital Circus."
Everybody said Elvis reference unexpected. When did we reference?
What's the meaning,
What's the meaning of Stonehenge?
Oh, when did he say that?
Just a few seconds ago.
you were talking about finding meaning in a meaningless world.
Okay. Really funny.
What car do you drive?
Drive a Civic, drive a Civic.
Drive a Civic,
Well,
a car you can trust. All right, so for the next manga,
Never mind the car,
so we have
let's
a
talk
couple-
about the henge.
Couple things real quick.
Oh, yeah,
What
what
was our favorite moments?
When the robot just like punches a bullet at the apartment man.
yeah,
I haven't seen that.
that's coming soon for you.
What was your favorite moment?
There's a lot of good stuff. I would say all of the dramatic reveals are pretty great, but
Yeah.
the current arc has probably been my favorite so far. Where when they're like running from, I would say that the woman who is secretly running the black market is the most compelling villain so far, because there's mostly been like spooky monsters or weird apartment things, and it's more about like figuring out like a puzzle to get out of a situation. This is the first time that there's a character who's like actively just, I'm like, fuck you guys, I'm going to take you out, like chasing them down. And it's not an apartment man, it's just a person with their own
The
motivations.
apartment man, or at least the one we saw, doesn't actually want to be doing what he's doing.
No,
Yeah.
Apartment Man seems to be suffering, and it very much is hoping. It seems like pretty much everybody wants to be out of this apartment except for the old man. So he is definitely the big bad. He's living a better
Yeah.
life than everyone else.
I was thinking that the implication with the old man was that he is somehow like, I think he is immortal without being turned to bones, and I think he is like,
They say
trying
we
to
are what we
create-
are, but we don't have to be.
because there was an there where he like mentions something that's like, or no. So Maison comes up to him and he goes like, "Hey, what is this all about?" I don't remember exactly what it was, and he goes, "I don't know. Like that's before my
it
time."
was the
but-
so Morse explains that there was like a floor expansion project onto the
yes.
irrational floors, and it happened 500 years ago.
Yeah, and so she questions it, and he goes, "How should I know? Like that's a long time
We
ago."
only
but
keep
it
records
kind of
50 years
it
ago.
kind of seems like he's just lying about that. So
Oh,
it's like,
totally.
okay, maybe he's just super old. But then I'm
Right.
like, maybe he has somehow become like staying immortal actually through
the
this whole
recycling.
thing, and that's why he wants things to keep going
yeah.
the way that they are.
It definitely is like he's benefiting more than anybody else from the system. And so he's keeping, I think there's probably certain things that were originally in place to make things good for everyone there. And he has made it worse for everybody by kind of seizing the reins and keeping
like
a lot of
the
secrets.
Fried rice apartment man.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's the best character.
I think for me, this might be, I mean, I can't imagine what would make it better for me. I like it as, this is like the most me core manga imaginable. Like it's fast paced. It's got mega structures. The art's incredible. The characters are fun. I think the whole arc where they go get recycled, took care of all the things I wanted, which was like more characters who return. Like they bring Collector back. He's a fucking badass. They've got the movie director. She's a fucking badass. So like
Risky's really cool.
Risky is an interesting little background character who's always
Which is just, it's weird that they're named Risky.
is a fun name.
So my favorite moment was that I've read so far was just Morse's reveal that he was like a
Yeah.
skeleton, and I was like, okay, Oh, what?
It felt really dark in the moment too.
Yeah.
Like
But
this
then it
manga
was
has
nice
a
when he got
tendency.
recycled, 'cause
They have a tendency to
his
take like
suffering was
a
over.
dark turn and then make you realize afterwards it might not have been as dark as it seemed in the moment, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
So I think it like the only thing that that brought it down for me was how like I did not jive with the beginning. Like if it had just started out like without explaining them being born and then like that, I mean maybe that'll become relevant later, but like if it had just started out and it was like I'm a landlord and I'm in this crazy apartment and then just started exploring,
Yeah.
I would have been like, all right, cool.
it was definitely a weirdly paced
My
first
name
chapter.
is Maison, and I'm the new landlord of the man-eating apartment.
Yeah, I mean, a narration like that probably would have been really cheesy, but like just having her just like fucking doing some shit, and then it kind of like you slowly get an idea of like, okay, we're in this
Oh.
weird fucked up apartment thing, and she's a landlord, whatever that means,
Harry May, I don't think either of them has made it to the Skeleton Man selling bikes and having a good time. But he is
Skeleton Man.
There's a guy who is he's another skeleton who has just aged forever, but he's just selling bikes at the entrance or renting bikes at the entrance to the like infinite mines, and he just loves it. He's like, yeah, I hope I live forever. I like doing this.
Yeah, I'm having a great one.
He's also a big Mushi fan. Shade. So all that would make this do you think it's do you think it could be a 10 by the time it's done for you, or
Maybe, yeah. If it answers all the questions and the questions are answered in a really good way and like it just stays fucking interesting, then yeah, it could definitely be a 10. As just like a nice short read. Also, if they try to extend it past a certain amount of chapters, I think that'll be a bad thing.
Yeah, no, I
Like,
definitely
it
think
needs to just end in like 20 more chapters.
yeah, it needs to wrap up by like chapter 50 or 60 and then be done. Otherwise, it will definitely get old. But I think it's probably going to. Usually, writer artist collab mangas have definitive endings. They're less likely to go on forever. Oh right, so next week.
Yeah.
I was thinking about giving you a manga that has not even hit 30 chapters yet, if you'd be interested. Maybe it'll be easier to catch up on. Would you rather do... There's also... So we could do Ichi the Witch, but that's already at like 80 chapters, and there's not necessarily a rush to get to it. It will probably get an anime adaptation at some point. Or we could talk about Bug Ego, the newest manga from One.
Oh, from One.
Yes.
Okay.
One.
I'd be down. The One Punch Man and Mob Psycho.
Oh, okay.
It's got 19 chapters out so far.
Is it a webcomic or is it on?
It's I think it's in Jump. I think you can read it on Manga Plus or whatever, but it's one with an artist once again. So he's not doing the art himself,
Yeah,
but
which is the way to go.
I've
for
heard
him.
tell it very good. So you want to do that one? Bug
Yeah,
Ego,
we'll do
19
Bug Ego.
chapters.
Bug Ego, Bug Ego, Bug Ego.
All right.
I have to pee in the interim.
Me too.
Twitch.tv/birdsfriends, bird friends play. Twitch.tv/bird friends play. Twitch.tv/bird friends play. Twitch.tv/bird friends play. Twitch.tv/bird friends play.